welcome back everybody. First thing we're going to do is for the exhibition debate tomorrow, draw some team positions. So, can one representative from each team come up? And in fact, actually, yeah, for the debate also this afternoon, like for the two debates today, if your teammate is here, debate with your teammate. So let's rearrange things a little bit. Like Hera, you and Hung are teammates, right? So you guys like sit together, move your stuff, and I guess the other Hung, you just like we're gonna kick you out. No, just kidding.
Like Okamoto-san is not here today, so can he like
Right. I guess Yasu was going to take Okamoto-san's place today. That was the plan, but actually the other person's not. Oh no, you're here. Yuki's here. Right? Yuki and anyway, yeah, everybody sit in a team. Okay, everybody sit together with a partner. If we still have an even number of people. But teams who are debating in the international friendship debate sit together. So Hung and Hera, Ahyong and Yasu, even though he's like the substitute teammate, and Jiwon and Hongyoung and Katsuhiro and Yuki. And everybody else, find a teammate that you want to debate with. If you don't, okay. So, now a motion. So we have three motions from the slides. There's the slide with three motions. Not the exhibition motion, but we have three other motions, and we'll do one of those for today's first debate. And then there are more motions on the back, and we'll probably do one of those for the second debate today after the other lecture. But if you want to do one of the original ones, we can do one of those too. Okay. Motion. Aha, here we go, page 3. Okay, so this first motion is this House would make it illegal to publish leaked official documents. Second motion is this House would require SNS websites to assign publicly available rankings. Third motion, this House believes website administrators should actively block posts. We'll vote. Each room, you can do a different motion if you want. We'll vote. Like each team gets one vote on which motion you want to debate about. The motion getting the most votes wins. Since there are 4 teams, there's some motion is going to get more votes. Oh, it could be split 2 and 2. If it's split 2 and 2, we flip a coin again. Okay? So each team decide which motion you want to vote. We'll do a vote. That will decide the motion for your room. All right? From the 3 motions on page 3. Not the first one. Not the exhibition motions. The other 3. The other 3 motions. All right, so preparation time starts now. Expires in 15 minutes. That would be at 2:05. We have the debate start. Good luck, everybody. 155. Oh, 155. You're right. Miscalculated. So, right. If you want to all prep together, I guess it's okay. It's just practice. If you want privacy. Okay. Thank you for waiting, everybody. And let's begin our practice round. So the motion is this House would require SNS websites to assign publicly available rankings to their users based on the quality and reliability of the users' contributions. And since Chiho volunteered to be OG, we call Chiho.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and Honorable Senator in this House. This evaluation system is good for us to know many things and many tendency or people or company and so on. So that's why we are proud of proposing this motion. I want to talk about 2 points. First, it is good for the individual. Second, this evaluation system is benefit for the company or and so on. But before that, I want to show our model. Our model is SNS website attach button of evaluation. For example, in Twitter, email, or and so on. And this evaluation and so on. But in this evaluation system, the posting is evaluated, and the negative posting, such as criticizing other people or religion are accepted. I want to talk our arguments. First, it is good for the individual because when people push the button of email or something like that, the posting would be stored, and when we pushed the button of email, there are some reasons, and because of the reasons we become to like the posting or and so on. And by storing their favorite posting, we can note our tendency something. For example, I like this comedian, or I like the picture or beautiful and something like that. So and by through knowing my hobby or tendency, we can get the way to release the stress, and it is good. And the second point is sorry, no, thank you. Second point is this evaluation system is good for the company. Is good for the company because through this system, the ranking or posting is shown on the internet, and by doing so, people or company can know tendency. For example, this the fruit of this shop is very good, or this book is very interesting. So company can know tendency. People like or many generation want what many generation want. So company can consider the strategy when they make the product, and so it is good for the company. And by doing this, thank you. And by doing so, company company can meet
Gratification.
desire. Sorry, no, thank you. Company can meet the amount of desire and their strategy. So it is good for the company and good for the company, and also many people can meet. Yes.
So even though your diverse terms or there is a like or dislike the group of us, so it can be evaluated objectively, for example, percentage or the like minus dislike or something like that. However, we don't think it can be reflected correctly. How do you think about it? How can you just evaluate it?
I will explain later. So, indeed, fake information is spread, but even if fake information are spread, correct information, for example, this information is false and this information is wrong. Spread. It's spread. So we can know. So also we can know it is fake or it is correct. So that's why we are proud of proposing this motion.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We call the Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So SNS has a huge influence on the society. So ranking system makes we make the hierarchy system. So we have this affair. They manipulate the public opinion. So by high ranker, so such occurs the discrimination or something, some bias or some kind of thing. So to prevent such kind of situation, that's why we try to oppose this motion. So so we have three substances. First is rebuttals of what the opponent side has said. Second is more clarification of the definition in this debate. So third is the humble ranking system itself. So I explain about them one by one. First, I have two rebuttals. So first, we refute their premise. Their model is based on the preference, and that is not what the motion states. So it is about the account being ranked and evaluated to create a hierarchy so that could discriminate between users. So that is our problem. That is we should debate in the first place. So second, in their model, they expect blaming things. So, however, they tendency over thinking over to change will change always change. That's why they more clear. They should more clearly say how can they evaluate the contribution of the users. Let me move on. Second is let me clarify the definition. So users, we believe that users are not always really people that have been the birth rate. So their fake account brand identities we don't. So don't know. Who don't know, so it's behind their screen. That is our definition. So let me move on our argument. So the harm of the ranking system. Yes.
Let me tell me your definition again.
Time is now. Okay, sure. In short, the users are not always real people that have been verified. There are no fake accounts. Brand identity fully down to their nose is behind the screen. Okay, let me move on our session. So, harm of ranking system itself. So, of course, that kind of such kind of ranking system creates a hierarchy. So we have three maybe two analyses. One is because such the system creates a hierarchy. It will be we used to manipulate. High ranker will manipulate on public opinion and control their social recognition. Because they have of course in the SNS or the people who evaluate the high evaluate did have influence on the other people. That's why if such kind of people say something, they will be influence or huge influence on other people. So they have the power of the changing social norm. In the worst case scenario, it produces bias or discrimination. For example, if high ranker such kind of rankings blames the prime minister or obviously or something. No, thank you. So what high ranker said, the people will tend to think what high ranker said is right. So they are affected by such kind of things. No, thank you. Most of people tend to think that users tend to think that Shinzo Abe is bad or something. So in the worst case scenario, so we prevent this. We take this motion. So on the second, the such kind of ranking system goes against the idea of concept of the internet in the first place. So the concept of the internet is the free communication with each other, and this means so they communicate each other at the same time, and by following the diversity of the information, they gather a lot of information. That is the problem. That's why we refer this motion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Leader of Opposition. So you call the Deputy Prime Minister. You.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the first place, we have our model which except negative posts, which means this negative posting
itself we want to deny, and so this is not for this is out of the debate. So and the next we have first I want to refute the previous speaker has said, and the second I will talk about the our substance. First, I have some rebuttal, and they said before, SNS users, and this world becomes a hierarchy system, and so and others evaluation have many influence for SNS users, and some people hurt. However, we can choose the however in the SNS world we can choose the position which I believe in the SNS world many two types user has exist. First, we are first users which who post many things, and who express their opinion, who speech on the post. And the second users who see SNS and who evaluate other people's opinion or other people's posts, and other people's posts. People post. Sorry. Closing.
Yeah, so you mentioned about the negative post. However, please show us the criteria of negative post. Here's last year the QDO motion that is the Facebook should delete posts about the Donald Trump. However, that is still the debatable. So we cannot ignore the citizen who supports Donald Trump. So how can you define the negative?
Negative. The third party's point. From the third party's point, we should we have the majority think the minus or become anger post. These post meaning negative post. I define. So and use these user and let me back our substance. These users has exist, and second users use the SNS to see only to see the post and evaluate or recognize their themselves hobby or themselves interest. And for example, other people's or followers post such beautiful sightseeing or beautiful sightseeing, and some users like this picture. So we want to say this movement and this fascinate feeling or beautiful and sympathy, and so this point becomes a evaluation or ranking and a ranking system. So and second type of users become happy to evaluate other people's posts, and also on the other hand the first type of users, they people who post often people, they are evaluating other people, and they we can and they can be they can think. Many people are evaluated me, and so also these type of users become happy, and actually some type of no thank you, some type of users they are not evaluated people. These people also have opportunity to post or not, because SNS world is another world in difference from the reality world. Reality world itself we cannot escape, and we have to face the problem. However, in the SNS world, this is one of the world different from the reality, and we can choose whether SNS use or not. So even if some users are not evaluated, these users are forced to stop or not. So for this reason, ranking system connect to the many people's happiness, and we recently proposed this one.
Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister. We call the Deputy Leader of Opposition, Ahyong.
So within the digital society today, the SNS sways a lot of the public opinion and is influential. It goes on to translate into the real world, such as like the Women's Walk and like Black Lives Matter actual protests and movements. Before I go on to explaining like clarifying the status quo problem and then explaining our second and third points, I'd like to rebut the opening government. The opening government went to say on that it's linked inextricably with people's happiness, but how can we know this for sure if they didn't go on to explain how these standards are going to be implemented? How are they going to judge, and upon which value systems and which ideals are they going to implement this action? The standard is too vague and ambiguous to implement and anticipate a better consequence to happen. Stigmatizing opinions as negatives on whim goes against the democratic ideals and is an infringement on freedom of speech, even if the evaluation system keeps deleting someone's opinion from the public eye and having them not be able to be seen or express their opinion upon the communicating space of the digital world. Now, I would like to go on to explain our arguments. Going into the second argument, which was that it goes against the idea of the internet. The internet, as our previous speaker explained to you shortly, that it is the place of free communication, the flow of ideas, and is a revolutionary step forward within the humankind to be able to have like a communication method wherein they are not hindered and have to go through secondary or like even mediatory mediators into which they are able to communicate and actually exchange their opinions. Why it matters itself is the internet is the platform for democracy and the exchange of ideas itself. It is the actualization of the agora. So creating a hierarchy within this, like creating an internet established class wherein these people usually dictate the majority of like the top of the comment section, or these internet personalities whereon these people's opinions are always just exposed much more to the public's eye is going to be a problem, because it goes against the idea of having a free communication on equal ground. That's why you see even with like the politicians who actually join like Twitter or whatnot, they go in the same rules onto which with the individual users of Twitter, it's not as if they are giving priority over the normal users. We have to keep in mind that the SNS space, we're not supposed to just deal within the confines of the SNS space. Because we're living in the real world, the SNS space must accommodate the needs of the reality we are living in, and we believe that the issue of creating a hierarchy within that exists only within the stratosphere of the digital space itself is a problem that actually will actually snowball into a problem, and that is linked with the nature of users, as they could use the users and their account identities, which I'll explain in our third argument. Before I go on.
If the social network is something that's so neutral and so open as you said, then why the social network now are being owned by the private company who have its own bias and have its own political stance?
Can you tell me the
So if the social network and the internet is so open and so neutral, as you said, then why now it is now being owned by the company who have its own bias and
So the SNS itself it's not as if one company monopolizes the SNS. There's a multitude of platforms, and the platforms that we are using right now are the platforms that the public has chosen to use as their as the means of their communication methods, just in the fact that their opinions are spread without hierarchy or discrimination, and that they're able to accomplish their needs without being infringed upon by these corporations or these money bag companies, as you were trying to characterize. It is not that these SNS themselves are the problem, but the people have actually congregated to actually use the SNS outlets that fit their interests and tastes. So going into the third argument is that we want to explain that there is an alternative, so we can rely on the check and balance of users, like the system is going on right now. If you like an idea or a comment that goes on to reflect your reality, you like it, you tweet it, and you comment on it. So it's a reinforcement and propagation of the idea, not the identity. The problem with actually reinforcing an idea is that there is no ID verification for users. It's just like an account name and a figurehead. These are people who are just behind the screen, and all that is needed for SNS accounts is an email address that is so easily made. If this isn't even a real person that is incorporating a value system and propagating their opinions upon the society, that it's going to turn the internet into a place of manipulation. Even in one of the recent social satire TV programs called Black Mirror, there is this episode wherein this bear character actually takes over the world and becomes the president because they caters to the public opinion by using a fake personality that actually encompasses all of the votes of the people. So using this type of populism, it's possible under your model to create a fictional identity that could become the president to all of the nations or whatnot. Taking this logic further, we believe that trying to clean up the internet is like trying to have a debate wherein some people are given extraordinary credibility over others, and we believe that in a democratic liberal society that this should not stand. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Leader of Opposition. It's now closing half, and we call the member of government.
Well, unfortunately, the opening of portion today is go too far from the motions, because what we are debating on today's debate is about the qualities and the reliability of the information itself, not about how much they influence to the society or how much they're going to get the influence or manipulations about the other people. So in my first speech, let me crack down the opening of portion side case, and then come to the contributions in our side. First of all, why the reliability and quality in the internet is extremely important, that the government now have to put it as the first priority. Second of all, how the system going to work and why that is working well and going to fix the quality disruptions in the current situations. So before that, let's take a look at the opening operation side case. First of all, they talk about a very interesting case that if they got a higher ranking, you can easily to manipulate the other people. That is not how the ranking system works, Mr. Speaker, because in the first place, we are working that ranking system based on the qualities and reliability of the information. So if even like the higher ranking people who have like some kind of like discriminative idea, who have something that like try to manipulate each other, and he cannot find enough evidence, he cannot give enough rational reasons for his decisions to post this kind of thing, we are happy to lower his rank, and that kind of thing deter people, to think against when they post something that is discriminative and post something that might be fake information, or like post something like to cheat other people in the first place, Mr. Speaker. So that's why the manipulations, we believe that the manipulation cannot be the case that we're talking about here. And even if that is the case, it is really better in our side how when you got the ranking system to deter the people who now just irrationally manipulate or irrationally put the influence into the other people, and no one that actually can defame them in the first place, Mr. Speaker. But second of all, they talk about the concept of internet and the concept of the platform of that. First of all, it is doubtful and it is unjust in the first place, Mr. Speaker, because in the current situation, we already have the forum platforms, where now you have the hierarchy system inside us. When you got the highest ranking is the admin of this forum, and you got silver member, golden member, normal member, and rookie or something like that. And this system ranking people based on how much they post on that forum. So so what is our point here is that in the current situation, the hierarchy or the ranking is already exists in the internet system in the first place. It's just now they are not using that because based on the quality or reality of the information, but they're based on the engagements in the first place, Mr. Speaker. But even if it is the case that the internet is so neutralized and it is something that you should protect it so that everybody can share the idea. So why now you let this kind of internet or this kind of social network being controlled by private company like Mark Zuckerberg, like the owner of Twitter, I don't know who is he. But still, because of that, because these people got their bias, got their political idea, so they try to put the influence into the social network platform, and they put the idea and they kick out somebody they don't like. For example, Mark Zuckerberg, follow the idea of gay marriage. So that's why he put the 7 color as something like avatar or something like that. So even in the current situation, the platform is not so neutral as the opening operations point out for us. So that's why even if all of the case is true, it's still rather than not stand in this debate, or it's actually better in our side of the house. So let's move, last but not least, they talk about the checking balance or the lie system. We say that system is actually the main problem that we see in this debate, Mr. Speaker. Because now everyone just look at how much that they like the post, but they never look at how much reliable that post. Because now if you post something that is attractive, that is something colorful, or the cute cat that's saying something like some kind of funny meme, you can got actually higher like, and people just irrationally believe on that kind of thing, rather than actually notice that kind of information is right or wrong in the first place. So that's why that is the problem in the current situations. With that has been given, why the reliability and the quality in the internet is extremely important in the first place. Because we believe that now in the platform, every people can easily access to the internet, the information, and they are dependent on the information they got on the internet. But because on the internet now you got so many biased ideas, you got so many fake information, or irrational information, or discriminative idea without any kind of rational reason back up them in the first place. So that's why people just rush to that kind of thing, or rush to that kind of belief without actually acknowledgement. Because now all this can see from that sport how much people lie or how much people sharing that sport. But because there's so many people lie, that's why I just automatically believe on that, rather than focus on the reasonable reasons, or the reasons why they're posting that in the first place with the speaker. And that's kind of thing why it's so serious. We see that in the micro and macro level. In the micro level, you can see the fake information can harm for your own individual benefit. You buy a wrong clothes on the internet, you book the wrong things, or you follow the wrong medical directions, you just kill yourself because you drink the wrong. You drink the wrong drug because you believe in some guy posting, and they have 1 million likes because of that post in the first place with the speaker. But in the macro level, because now the information in the internet is so influential, as the opening operation said, that's why people now just easily to follow that and believe in that kind of thing. That's a part of the reasons why the Brexit happened, a part of the reasons why now the American people just irrationally vote for Donald Trump. because now they just believe like, some posts like Donald Trump is the god on the Facebook, like they believe like, hey, Donald Trump is something that can grant you the job, he can like make America great again, but like they never focus on like why he had the reason to do that, or like the static of him, because no one actually give him like the quality or reliability on that point in the first place. So that's why that is the problem that the closing governments want to solve in this debate. How we can solve that? First of all, the ranking system. We are happy like in the ranking system itself is not like if you post something based on the preference, something like hey, this cat is cute, or I like to go to this place, or this place is cute. We are not plus or minus any point for them. But if they post something that's reasonable, or something like like encourage people to discuss about something like controversial in the society, we're happy to give them 1+ point or like 2+ point. And if they post something negative or like something that is discriminative in the first place, we minus the point. And like based on the point, we're ranking them in the first place. That's kind of thing. First of all, encourage people to engage with the political issue or some kind of issue, and not people actually like the encouragement to engage in the first place. But further than that, we believe like the encouragement here gonna go to the right directions, because now they engage in a reasonable and rational ways. Because now all they need to focus is not about like how many lies that space has, but they focus like why they say that. Ask like we debate in this current situation, why they follow that kind of idea. What is the reasonable? What is the political stand that they based on and say that kind of thing? Because now the higher ranking people means that like they have the reason to say that. So that's why you are willing to read that and get the right information or right idea from that people in the first place. Proud to propose this motion.
Thank you, member of government. We call the member of opposition.
Ladies and gentlemen, this house. Firstly, I will refer to the government bench. Firstly, to the opening bench. Opening government. Opening government style says that we should judge the preference by the number of privilege, but it is not true, because if we take this motion by doing so, we can't guarantee the reliability. So I will explain the mechanism in my argument form. And to the closing opposition, closing government. Closing government say that the quality and the reliability is judged by the number of rational comments, and based on the number of the rational comments. However, if doing so, because of prevalence of this such rapidly development, it is a very tough thing for the SNS company to be bankrupted, because we can use SNS for free. If government mandate SNS to such tough things, it is not to such tough things. They have to hire more and more people, and then they need more money. However, the SNS, we can use SNS for free, and there are many people who use SNS. So that is why what the government said is not standard. So I'll explain firstly, I'll mechanism that I'll explain. Let me move on to our argument. So first of all, I will explain that even with this motion, the quality and the ability of the user's computer, the quality and the ability cannot be guaranteed. And secondly, I will explain that we should focus on individual posts than the quality the user who contribute for the society. So let me move on to first argument. First argument is this, that we can't guarantee the quality and the ability even we take this motion. I will explain the good example by using YouTube. Imagine the YouTube, the frequency of being watched are reflected. So that is how the number of people who watch the preference is reflected. However, imagine that what kind of movie do you what kind of movie are reflected? Actually, only the funny thing, or only simply because they are famous, or simply because this is a fun, not users' contributions. So that is why what the opening government side said is not stand, because this is a very low the quality and the ability, such as because the tendency because we cannot guarantee the high quality as a serious matter, such as politics problem or something like that, and we even do not think the place I want to go, or this place is good to visit or something like that is more. If people think such movie, they feel bored because there are much funnier movie in this world. So the people cannot judge. People cannot judge rationality, the quality and the ability by doing the number of favorite go.
So because they just focus on like the funny thing or like the objective things, how can like in yourself how you can encourage them to engage with something that can influence them in the real life, like politics, like economics?
So I'll explain the argument too. So we can what's the closing government side said, I cannot admit that. However, we strongly think that there are much more important thing than what the government opponent side said. Let me move on to the second argument. We should focus on individual sports than the high quality and the ability sports, because imagine the role of SNS. The role of SNS is that people can contact or communicate with others living far from them, or not far from them, but people can contact with other people, even if they do not even when someone they do not know their address or emails or something like that. For example, we can get the chance to meet the people with the same job or same university or same the people between having the same relationship. Another example is we can realize the reunion with old friends, such as we can meet. There is a possibility of finding a people who goes to elementary school together. So that is the SNS's role. However, why this is important? Because if there are ranking system, some people try hard to rank higher, but others don't. But others do not problem. The problem is some people who try hard to rank higher because they cannot succeed the SNS law, because they try to get a chance to meet people. They think that to ranking higher is much more better than to meet people. So this is a problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you, member of opposition. We call the government whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to ask, what is the SNS? SNS perform in our society as a whole. Like the opposition also agree with that. It links individuals to each other, make people really engage our society. But what happened in the status quo? Actually, there is a lot of fake information. Therefore, everyone search the fake information and get it and act and choose based on those fake information. it makes a fake engagement to the society. So as the closing government, we see this is the really serious problem because the SNS cannot work, doesn't work as the tool of the real communication and real engagement. So actually, Kipp it. By using the ranking system, we'll make a check and balance system to prevent this fake engagement. Before I move on to my model clarification and rebuttal, yes.
Within your problem identification, is fake information the problem or people who don't fact check before acting the problem itself?
So I want to make it more efficient, so we make a ranking system. That's why we need this motion. So it is quite clear. Before I move on to my issue arrangement, I want to clarify our model. I'm really sorry. Okay, I want to clarify the model. What is our criteria? The POI from the closing opposition, I remember that they asked about the criteria. As my first speaker excellently said to you, it is wrong. It is simply wrong to give a fake information, or it is also wrong to say this is fact even if it's their own opinion. This is our criteria, what we think it is negative. Few rebuts. Okay. The LO talked about the high ranker will manipulate the status quo. However, it will not happen. How they manipulate in this under the ranking system? Because if they provide a fake information or like deceive the audience, then they will lose their rank. So it will not happen under our model clearly. And thirdly, another rebut. The DLO talked about the democracy in internet. I want to point it out this point. The real democracy and real freedom comes from the responsibility. But in the status quo, it does not happen. Some people are responsible for their information and just spread out the fake information in the internet. We see this is the real problem in our status quo. So, what I want to arrange this some of the debate today is by the model comparison. How can which one can solve this problem better? The opposition say status quo there is no problem. I don't know what it means, but they support the like and dislike system, and however, I think it cannot solve the status quo's problem. But before I move on to the explanation, yes.
After they go to the high rank, they start to be against the other side. Why don't they influence on their social recognition?
I like your voice, but anyway, ranking system. But there's no problem because the ranking system not just working in a certain time. It just work in a long always. There is always ranking system. So after you get a higher rank, and as I said, you start again to spread the wrong information, then your rank goes down. That's our mechanism. Really simple. So again go to the model comparison. Sorry. So the opposition, both opposition closing and opening, they support the system of like and dislike, but it cannot solve the status quo problem, the fake engagement. I will explain to you. As the closing, the member of opposition said about the YouTube and interesting movie. Also, I think also that was the POI from the closing opposition. Dislike will solve this problem, but like and dislike is not about the reliability or quality of the information. So think about it. Provocative information
even if it's not true, but it has a lot of likes. It clearly cannot solve this status quo fake engagement problem, right? So I don't know their mechanism. What is their mechanism? So I clearly say to you that government is better, have a better model. Which one is? We make a check and balance system based on quality and reliability of the information. As our first speaker criticized, there is already hierarchy in the internet based on the political power. But what we try to do is change that criteria, political power, to information's reliability and quality. Then what happened? As my first quickly excellently explained to you, people can make a right engagement in society. At least people can look up the ranking and they can find a more reliable information. Based on that information, they can make a political choice in a more reasonable way. So for this reason, I'm proud to propose. Thank you.
Thank you, Government Whip. We call the Opposition Whip.
As an addict of Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook, I like to make your speech much more realistically. So we are not talking about Yahoo Answers or Neighbor or something like that. So we are talking about, because they are already required the better information for users as the opening government and closing government wanted. However, we are talking about the SNS, right? So that's why the SNS is the purpose and role of SNS to guarantee the connection and attachment with the friends and the future friends. That's why, for example, when I was a high school student, I saw the guy once, and from the scenes that we have no interaction. However, we found him on the Facebook page, that we requested him to be friend, and we have interaction. Then now, when we go to Tokyo, for example, when we have the tournament in Tokyo, we have the dinner or something like that. So that is the fundamental role of SNS, social network services. That's why, however, the whole government bench are talking about the things we can substantiate. Not substantiate, we have the alternative, right? So that's why not yet. So that's why only our team, the uniquely mentioned about the role of social network services, not yet. So after reputation. So that's why we are proud to propose these motions. So in my speech, so there are two questions in this debate. First is how posts on Facebook, Instagram, or Facebook, and any other social network services will be evaluated. The second, what kinds of impact towards the individual and society will have, and as a government, what kinds of social network services, role of social network services should be respected. However, before that, independent refers towards the closing government. So instead of the opening opposition. So firstly, the Fulton told about the Mark Zuckerberg or something like that. They try to characterize the Facebook that is one-sided. However, that is not true. Even if Mark Zuckerberg is gay-friendly, they never restrict the opinions of gay in the first place, right? So as long as it doesn't lead to defamation, we open platform for discourse about their homophobia, even they are gay. That's why we are still neutral, even they are cooperated by a private owner in the first place. Secondly, so they mentioned about the fake news, even slightly the opening government also. However, the harm caused by fake news is so tangible, right? Because when we see the fake news, we feel like oh my god, is it serious? Or then we research, or the news services, the release that is fake or something like that. So that's why the fake news matter, that doesn't matter, that is totally out of date in this debate. Yes?
So you are killing your case, because if the Facebook or Instagram is just a place for you to connect with the other people, then why this kind of social network are trying to make the effort to stop or to keep the political stand balance in the first place?
So that is already mentioned about. However, I also mentioned about that point in second question. So first question, how the posts on Facebook, Instagram, the Twitter, and only any other SNS will be evaluated. So opening government failed to explain that. However, closing government the extended or the rational comments that will be evaluated. However, so they mentioned about that they will consider about comments, only rational thing, and so forth. However, even though we cannot reflect the people's opinion, people's feeling correctly, why is that? Because even if we push the like, it increases the extreme, the move, and just pushing the dislike is too. So in addition, even if we see the comment, for example, if one Chinese debater that wrote a comment on Facebook, oh my god, the Kyushu debate open is extremely good, then the rationally, the motion is super good, then the adjudicator, the all-round, the percentage, that is good. However, at the same time, for example, if the one Japanese debater that said, oh my god, round 2, round 3, the motion is so harsh to opposition side or something like that. In addition, some adjudicators were consider much more the matter, not matter, or something like that. So in this situation, so firstly, if the person who evaluated is, for example, Chinese or so how it will be evaluated is totally up to the nationality in that case. Secondly, it is also up to the how they are familiar with debate. Or thirdly, it's also up to the impression, the how wording they use, or those kinds of things. That's why even the definition, the model coming from the closing government, still we cannot reflect the people's opinion correctly. That's why if the Chinese debaters saw that Chinese comment is higher rank, then we want to go to the Kyushu debate over next year. However, for example, then that Kyushu debate open so harsh, so maybe they will regret. So the problem is the higher rank will influence towards the influence that people rush to the comments and the law of the rationality, the law of the opportunity to research more and so forth. That's why the India paradigm, no more. So that's why the India paradigm, so there are more harm towards individual and society that is totally counterproductive for individual users. So second flashpoint, what kind of the impact towards the individual society will have, and as government, what kinds of the role of SNS should respect. So in this debate, the whole government bench never told us why, as government, we should respect those kinds of social network service system. Why, as government, we should correct the social network service, right? Because what they try to do is just sacrificing the profit of the social network services in the first place, right? Because the social network service have so much profit thanks to that metadata from the pictures of Instagram, information of Facebook, and so forth. What they try to do is, according to their logic, if their model will success, of course, the social network service will lose those profits because they have to release the metadata, because it means opening the tendency leads to the opening the metadata, right? So what kinds of tendency will have according to the opening government and closing government logic? However, there is no justification coming the whole government bench. However, only our side talking about what kinds of unique role the SNS have, because the SNS, the fundamental, the study for example, in case of Facebook, there is a study, for example, that there are so many girl students and so forth. So attached towards the different, the friends or unknown person and different friends, that is a fundamental role of SNS. That's what part of the course.
Thank you, opposition whip. Everybody please shake hands. Yeah. Do you want to take a little break before we talk about it? Yes. Yeah, okay. So 10 minutes and then come back here. Thank you for the debate. I'll go just briefly talk about the other room.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.